Welcome to this episode of Face Islam, the program dealing with the situations, problems, and issues facing Muslims everywhere. And today I want to talk about a word in Arabic called Jiziya. Jiziya. Here's a word that when it's thrown out in translation, we find that it's a case for those who hate Islam to bring forth their attacks. We've got the talking heads, Facebook, Twitter, you're going to find it all over the blogs, YouTube, talking about jizya. Oh, it's so unfair, it's so bad. But what is jizya? It's a tax. It is a simple tax that is imposed upon residents in the Muslim country or Muslim state. Simple as that. Well, what's the big deal? How is this tax figured and calculated? Well, the wealth that you hold for a period of a year that you do not use, that which is not needed by you for a whole entire year, is subject to this tax. And it must be distributed out to the poor, to the impoverished, to the folks living in your area that are without. They don't have a means of income, or they don't have food, etc., and you're taking care of them by giving them this tax. But this jizya is not for Muslims. No. Muslims have the same tax, but it's called zakat. Now comes the problem. Zakat means to purify your wealth. Zakat means to purify something, clean it up. And so this is purifying your wealth from anything that is not acceptable to Allah. Some people have done this or that, and maybe they have some money in there that's questionable. So whatever, or how you felt when you got it. There are many different things, but this is given to the poor, same as the jizya. The difference, it's 2.5%. 2.5% of your wealth. How much is jizya? 4 times as much. It's 10%. 10%. Why? Why I have to give 10%? The Muslim is only giving 2.5%. Maybe they want me to be a Muslim. This is bribery, yeah? Because if I got millions of dollars here, wow, and I got to pay, if I be a Muslim, 2.5%. No, that's not why it's there. That is not why it's there. The encouragement is not about this subject. In fact, you might say it's actually the opposite, because the Muslim state is saying, go ahead and be a non-Muslim. Go ahead. You can openly declare it. Go ahead. It's not a problem. This, when you understand it, it actually overcomes some of the other lies that people propagate about Islam. If it's so much of a problem for you to be a non-Muslim in a Muslim state, then why do we already have a tax category for them, well-known, well-established, and there? You want to live with the Muslims, you're welcome. You want to work here, you want to do stuff here, your tax rate is higher. Why is it higher? Because the person who's not Muslim is still eligible for all of the benefits coming from the socialist part of the Islamic State. Meaning, and that not socialism, but the part where we have what's called Baitul Mal, the house of wealth. That's literally the meaning of it. Now, in this Baitul Mal, it is available for every single person living, residing in that Muslim state. Everybody and anybody who lives there is eligible to take from it. Whether he's a good guy, a bad guy, whether he's a Muslim, a non-Muslim, or she is, whatever. If they're hungry, regardless, even people in prison are entitled to be fed, and fed the same as any other normal person, and clothed. Even somebody in a prison is entitled to proper clothing. I want you to think about that, because all of these things that are being given out and distributed are coming from the one same source. If a Muslim is in prison, or a Muslim is impoverished, or a Muslim is having a difficulty, a Muslim, he's entitled to exactly the same thing as a non-Muslim according to this rule. The difference is the cost for them. And why? Because there are some of the privileges that I didn't tell you about yet. One of the biggest privileges is to serve in Allah's army, to fight for the sake of Allah. Now, this is not talking about some of the things we hear on TV blowing people up. We're talking about fighting for the cause of Allah, to defend the children and women and elders from the oppression of some takeover gangsters, to fight even in battles against those who would put out the light of Islam. That kind of a war or battle is for Muslims only. We do not need to enlist or force those who are not Muslims to come and fight along with us for the sake of Allah, because they would not have the same intention, and we respect that. But instead of fighting, instead of putting their life on the line for Islam, which we didn't need them to do, they will pay a higher amount. And in history we've found that those who understood this and benefited from it, they liked it so much they wanted Muslims to come back after they left. That's face Islam. La 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 la.